Hi friends, and welcome to Cat's Corner. It's me, Cat. Welcome back. And if you're new, hi, welcome. This is April the 27th. It is a hot Sunday, and I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, this is episode 14. Okay. You can find me on Ravelry as Cat Straight, and on Board Game Geek as Moraine Aid Sedai. You can find a group on Ravelry entitled Cat's Corner for the podcast, where you can see what's going on. There's a thread in there for possible virtual knit nights. So if you think you might want to do one, or you just want to look and see when I'm thinking I might want to try and see if you can match up with that or whatever, I have a thread going on in there so that hopefully we can start getting that organized more. There's a thread for our craft along for the Cosmos, and that runs, you can do pretty much any type of project you want, starting April 1st, I think I did it, to June the 30th, 31st, whatever, the last day of June. And you can pretty much, anything that's related to the Cosmos. I've had a couple of people ask. It can be science fiction related Cosmos, anything to do. One person asked about rainbows. Yeah, sure. It's up in the sky to me. Anything in the sky related, sure. I'm very, very open this time. I just want people to participate. Let's see. But there will be a prize for that. I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to do a Ravelry pattern, a giftable Ravelry pattern of $10 or less, and then also probably a little special surprise, which I have to try and work on that. So, we've been out gardening and my fingers are swollen. So we have that. So join in the fun. I know we have several people. Knitting, crocheting, spinning, dyeing, gardening, sewing, carving, wreath making, whatever you want. Let your craftiness, whatever, soar. So that's that. I am probably going to start another giveaway soon. It will be for a bag that I'm going to make, just plain drawstring bag, and I'll explain why about that in just a little bit. I think, oh yeah, and the 50 member, if you join the Ravelry group, you will automatically get entered to win a prize once we hit 50 members for a hand-carved stamp. The random person that I draw will get this stamp here, and it looks like this. And then that person will get to gift another member of our Ravelry group this stamp, which looks like that. So that's another thing. Put that over there. Okay, so that's that. And I think that's all big news. So if you're interested in what I've been doing, it's almost pretty much summer type weather here. we're getting into the 80s, high humidity, and I got my first cut the grass weekend. I've been very good. I've been getting Nate to cut it recently, but this weekend I had to cut half of it. Which I usually will just do and cut the whole thing. But with it being my first time going out to cut the grass, I usually get like huge blisters and stuff on my hands. So I just cut half the yard this time, and I'll probably do that for a couple times until my hands build up to calluses again and I can just go. So I've been doing a lot of yard work, which is why I look crappy today. Because we did yard work in the morning yesterday and this morning. So I'm tired. I didn't feel like getting nice today. I still have dirt underneath my fingernails. You see that? See the dirt? I didn't get it all out. Oh well. Still no wash machine. I know y'all are so excited once I could say, we got a wash machine. The wash machine's fixed, huh? So that's that. My grandma has come into town. She's staying over at my parents' house, and they live about 30-45 minutes away from us. She's going to be staying with them for about 2 weeks, so I'll get to see her over the next 2 weeks, especially when I go over there to wash clothes. So that's going to be fun. Let's see, what else? Anything else interesting? We're doing a lot of birthday parties. That's why the door's open back there, because I'm home by myself. Because Nate took Linus to another birthday party. I needed a me time. So, we did have a virtual knit night on Friday night. So, Christy, hi. It was so good to meet you. And I had fun, and I hope I didn't talk your head off. When apparently it's just me and one other person, I talk a lot. But put me in with 3 other people, and I sit and listen more. So, I hope I didn't talk your head off. But I did get to enjoy meeting you and seeing your cute kitty cats that kept coming to see you. My cat just hides. Pretty much. And sleeps. But, that's that. I was told by Christy, I think her username is Christy Rose on Ravelry, that there is actually a fiber festival in Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is like 3 hours away from my house. So, and that's at the end of May. I think it's the last Saturday in May. So I may be going to that, so just be on the watch. I'm trying to get 2 of my, or technically kind of my sister-in-laws, to come with, even though they're not really like yarn or fiber people, they're crafty people. So, and we all have small kids, and we're all friends, so hopefully we can stick the guys with the kids and have a much needed girls' day. So that's the plan for that, if I can get it going, because I don't know if I can drive 3 hours there and 3 hours back in one day by myself. But stay tuned for that. If I do go, I'll let you know. And I think that's pretty much it. I am going to attempt a new video editing program, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe I can get some more technology stuff going on, and I can actually start inserting like maybe pictures or something, because I took a bunch of pictures of all of our flowering plants and birds' nests that are popping up everywhere, and birds' eggs, and things like that. So if I get it to work, it'll be at the very end, because just in case. But I was told about a different program and it wound up being free, so I downloaded it a couple days ago, and we'll see. It'll be the first time I try this one, because I can't figure out my other one. So hopefully this one will work. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it. I think so. All that stuff. And I guess I should do this just for Amy. Today we are drinking South Coast Seasoned Amber Ale by the Parish Brewing Company. I'm assuming this is a Louisiana beer. I don't really know. I'm assuming so, since it says it's a Parish Brewing Company, and Louisiana is the only place with parishes. So, it's good. It's nice to have one after working out in the yard. So, okay. Well, should we get into all the fun crafty stuff? I think so. So, some of my finished objects. Not a whole lot. I've been working on some of my bigger projects lately, but the yarn that I spun up that I showed y'all last week, and I said I was probably going to make a bunny because Linus wanted a bunny. Well, I didn't feel like trying to figure that out, so I just made a big owl puff with it, and so it's my own self-striping hand-spun yarn that became an owl puff. And I just put some cute little buttons that look like eyes and embroidered a little nose. And he got this for Easter from Mommy. This is Easter owl, and it's cute. I like it. I want it. I want to keep it. Apparently it's been in his bed lately, so I think he's been sleeping with it. If he likes it, that's all that matters, because usually he'll just play with something for like a day and then he's done. So if he keeps enjoying it, that makes me very happy. Hopefully I'll be making him some more stuff soon that he can play with. So I have that, and then I have a little mini, I guess I should have showed it to you before I unwrapped it, huh? Oh well. A little mini thing of yarn that I spun up. And I posted pictures of this already, but it's got varying colors. You can't really see the colors. Well, there you go. That's some of them. On one ply was like a bunch of random colors, and the other one's kind of like this maroony purple color. And I'm getting better. The multicolored one was, I think, my 5th attempt at spinning, so it's not all that great. But the purple one, it got better. It's a lot more consistent. So I have some really nice places where I applied and some really funky places. Like you can see, I have this big pop there that didn't really get spun up, but whatever. I'm still learning. I'm not taking it too seriously yet. It's fun, it's relaxing. So I did this, and I still have some of the multicolored because apparently I don't know how to divide things up yet and how to measure everything in order to get it all even and make sure I don't have all this extra whenever I'm applying, which is probably because I haven't looked up how to do it yet, because I'm just practicing the spinning part right now. But that's what it looks like with it all curled up. But this is the leftover that I have. And this is more of like the pinks and purples, whereas the first half was more blues and greens. This is more pinks and purples. So I might try and just apply this with itself and see what happens. If I can do anything with it. Thought I may have enough to maybe make like one little stripe, one something. But this was my favorite part, was the pinks and the purples. And my lighting's kind of off, I think, today. Whatever. But it's got sparkle in it too. I think that's why it makes me so happy. So I did that one, and then I also have this one that I spun up. And this is really pretty, all these pretty blues. And that, it's kind of like, reminds me of like an ocean. And I think I did really good with the spinning of this. It's really, like, it looks like I got really consistent on this one. And then I go and I get one little pop every so often. I got a little pop of something a little bit bigger or smaller. But I think I did really good with this one. And what I'm planning on doing with this one is applying it with this gray that I spun up yesterday. And I did pretty good with this one. It's pretty consistent. But I had, like, you see the little bumps in there? Towards the end, I was finding a lot of like, these little bitty poof ball type things in the fiber. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do, so I just left it in there and tried to spin with it. But it gave me more bumps. But I think I got pretty consistent considering I'm not really used to doing this. So if you're a spinner and you have any tips for me, I would gladly appreciate it because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I think I'm going to put those two together. I think that would be pretty. And how do you measure how much you spun? Like, is there a tool for that? I don't know. Do you just like measure out a yard and weigh it? But then how would you know what weight it is? I don't know. See, I don't know these things. I'm gonna have to figure it out so that I can actually be able to start doing stuff whenever I get to my larger quantities of fiber. Right now I'm just using random scrap stuff that I bought. But I really like how this came out. I love those colors. So I have that. And see, I would love to apply it with that. But I know I don't have enough of this. But, yeah. So that was my spinning. And let's go into what else I am working on knit-wise. I did not touch the Steggy at all this week because I've been working on my other two projects. I'll do this one after. Okay. So I'm trying to, this is my Ghastly's bag. It's the Good to Be Girls, they're on Etsy. So this is my star motif pullover by Kristen Omadal, whatever. So last time I recorded, I believe I was working on the last sleeve. Well, I finished the last sleeve, sewed it all up, and I'm doing the waistband now. So it says you're supposed to go 5 inches on the waistband. I'm almost at the 5 inches. I think I'm like a little over 4 inches So I'm thinking I'm going to do 7 inches so it goes a little bit past my waist. Just because now that I had a child, my body is not the same as it used to be. So I'm not as comfortable showing my midsection if my shirt happens to ride up a little bit. So I want to hide that if at all possible. But I think it's going pretty well. I have plenty mistakes. First off, I have mistakes in the lace work, which I think I've been showing y'all kind of whenever, with each piece, whenever I've made those mistakes. And I didn't go back and fix them because I didn't realize them and I wasn't going to go back. I apparently, when I sew my seams together, I think I sew things too tightly because it fits. Because I tried it on after I sewed it all together, but all the pieces come together right underneath where the arm is. All comes together right there under the arm, and that's where it's too tight. Mainly because I think I sewed it too tightly. But I'm thinking that once I give it a harder block after I'm done, because I just did a minor block just to flatten things out so whenever I sewed it together it would be easier. Because it's not uncomfortable tight, it's just I could tell it's a little too tight. But I think once I block it out some more and stretch that lace area out more, I think it'll work better. So I did that, and then after I picked up my stitches along the waistband and started to do a little bit of increasing for the ribbing, apparently my brain wasn't working and I didn't realize it. So I had to do some minor fixes because these two here were all together. So I had to put a couple purl rows in there after I realized that I screwed up. And then this purl area is larger than the rest. So my counts were off whenever I was doing it. Oh well. Only I will know probably. Most people who see me in it won't really realize, so who cares? So I have a couple more inches left to go on this, on the waistband, and then I pick up around the top, which I bound off a little too tightly right here on these two pieces. This part here is fine though. So I'm just going to have to start doing a different bind off than the sewn bind off, because apparently even though it allows me to get it a little bit stretchier, it doesn't let me get it stretchy enough. So I have found a couple new bind offs that I'll probably be playing with. So then I pick up for the cowl and I make the cowl, and then it's pretty much done. So this was my main project that I worked on this week. And let's see, the yarn I'm using is Brown Sheep Company's Serendipity Tweed in the colorway Striped Coral. It is 60% cotton, 40% wool. And I am using size 3 needles. The majority of this was worked on size 3 straights. And then when I picked up for the waistband area, I'm using size 3 Addy Turbos 32-inch circular, and my pretty little stitch marker that was given to me by Amanda from Amanda Bug Crafts as a prize that she made. That's pretty. I had a lot more in here while I was attempting to count how many stitches I was picking up. But that is this project. And I can't wait to get it done so I can move on to some other projects that I would like to do. Once whatever project I finish, well, it's probably going to be this project I finish first. But I'll be starting to work on a hat that will wind up being a Christmas present. I'd like to try and get a couple done here and there, so come October and stuff, I don't feel like I have to make everyone's Christmas present right away. So I have that. My other project I am working on is my Star Trek socks that I am using the OMG heel pattern for by Megan Williams, and what is the other one? And then the Star Trek logo that's going to go up the legs is the Star Trek pattern repeat by Zoe Schufly, S-C-H-E-F-F-Y. Shify. And here's where I was last week. I've gotten that much done. I am pretty much super close to the heel, and what I am planning on doing, since I only have one skein of this yarn and my husband likes his socks kind of high, and I told him, it was sometime this week, I told him, I said, now you know, all I have is this one skein of yarn, so however high the sock gets, that's how high the sock gets. I can't make it any longer, so if it's on the shorter end, it's on the shorter end. And he just gave me that okay, like that. He wasn't too sure about that. So in this, I showed y'all, it was like a month or so ago, I had bought a mystery bag of fingering weight yarns. It was just a bunch of random scrap yarns. So I found this color that was in there, and this is just, I've already kind of divided a little bit of it off. So I'm going to use this part as the heel for the two socks to hopefully make, so I can maybe make the sock just like maybe a little bit longer, hopefully. So I got to this part yesterday, and then I had to start trying to think, because I'm at the back of my sock now, so I need to think how to attach it, because I've never used really a different yarn for the toe and the heels and stuff. Oh, I just dropped my yarn. So I'll have to figure out exactly how I'm going to go about doing that. Thinking about cutting the yarn so I don't have to carry it through, and then start the heel. We'll see. I haven't measured it, so I may have to go just a little bit longer, before another row or two before I do the heel. But I don't even know what this yarn is. But don't even know if it's sock yarn, but it's going to be used. So I'll be figuring out the heel. The yarn I am using is Black Trillium Fibers and the Merline Sock Base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it is in the colorway Star. And this is my project for our craft along, and hopefully this won't be my only one. I plan on attempting to make a stamp to go along with too, so it's just a matter of getting to it, because I just got my table cleared. You see this? It is cleared finally. My husband picked everything up. So now that I have the table back, we can actually do some stuff. So the size needles I am using are size 1s, don't know the millimeters. And they're Addy sock rockets. I think that's all with this sock. I think so. So those are the only things that I've been working on. This seems like it's going to be a very short episode for you. I know, because I have a lot of stuff that I bought. Yeah, I got more stuff. Or I technically didn't buy a whole bunch, but a lot of stuff came in. Oh, I do have one other project I started. Oh, okay. Scratch that. So, since I've started buying fingering weight yarns and having random stuff, and then I've been making all these little mini skein things, and they're probably not fingering weight, but they're close enough for me. I started one of those sock yarn blankets, and the one I'm doing is the sock yarn blanket by Shelly Kang, the one with like the little mitered squares or whatever. So I literally just started it, so I haven't even really gotten to start attaching my things, but I've done 2 squares, and it's a free Ravelry pattern. Yeah, okay. So I don't know if I'm going to make a couple more squares or if I'm just going to attach these 2 and go, and then just, I don't know. But this one, the square here, was made with some of the Capistrino Fiber Arts yarn that I had made my climbing lace socks out of. And this is a mini skein of yarn that I got in the gift prize pack from Amanda. And this was Gail's art and I think the graffiti or confetti. One of those 2. So that. And I still have a lot left of all this stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to hold on to it and maybe use it again later. But what I'm thinking is, I know a lot of y'all are doing like the Hexie Puffs and stuff. So what I'm thinking is maybe trying to work up like a scrap yarn exchange where, you know, you save a couple of your, you know, use what you're going to use for what your projects, your Hexie Puffs, like make a Hexie Puff or 2 out of it or whatever. And then, you know, get, you know, 5 or 6 little balls and send it to somebody else. Now, I don't know how to go about setting that up as like a swap type thing. So if someone in the group knows how to do that, that would be great. Or if they want to just inform me how to do it, or if they can attempt to try and set it up, that would be great. Or otherwise, I'm going to have to do some research. But I think that would be really fun to do. And we can send each other, you know, your leftovers. And that way everyone gets more yarn to play around with and expand their colors on their blankets and puffs and stuff. So that's the other project I've started. Okay, so now I think into my acquisitions, my stash. What have I gotten new? See, I did, I caught it really late. I caught it like at 8 or 9 o'clock on Easter. But, and by the way, I hope everyone had a good Easter. But someone had mentioned that, who is it? Let me see, who was it? Rami Hill, her patterns, she had like an Easter egg hunt. And you find a code and you use the code and you got, you know, so much off of a pattern. And she made sure that one of the codes, I think it was like for like $6.50, anybody could get up until the time that she cut off the codes. So it was multiple use for multiple people, but you could only use it once. So the pattern I got was Dusk into Twilight. I got that shawl because I got I found one of the $6.50 ones because I was said really late to the party. And if I would have known about it sooner, I would have posted something in our forum to let y'all know about it, but it was around the time that I was fixing to go to bed, so it ain't happening. But let's see. Let me pull up the picture. Well, that's the one I picked. I thought it was really pretty. I just gotta find yarn to work with it. So I got that. That was the only pattern I think I've gotten. I did get my big huge purchase of fiber. Now I think I did really good on the fiber. I got it from, who was it? Let me go back. I got it from, who is this person? It is Swoon Fibers off of Etsy. And she was having like this, I thought it was a pretty big sale. Her fiber, a lot of her fiber was pretty much like half off. So I was contacting her back and forth about some of her fiber that she had, and asking her, well, how much of it do you have left, in case she hadn't updated the listing to say how much she had left, and how much would it be if I bought all of this, if she could calculate it out for me, so I could, with me not knowing for sure exactly how many ounces she had of each of the fibers. But she was at work, so by the time she got home from work, 2 of the fibers that I was looking at had sold out. And one of them was one that I really liked. That's okay. She actually had a bunch of scrap fiber laying around that she gave a really good price for me on, which is why I'm making a lot of these little mini skeins, because it's just some of it was a lot of little bitty stuff. I'm saving all the bigger stuff for after I get through all the scrap stuff, so that I had more practice. So this one was from her. This one was from her. This gray, which I'm thinking this might be some of the same gray that I bought, but I don't know, because this was in the mixed up bag. So I don't know. The mixed up stuff, I don't know what it was exactly. But this gray, the purple that's in here, and the other multicolored that's in there. Let's see. The smaller scraps. I got this little thing of white. It's like a brownish gray. This one feels really good. It's nice and soft and silky. And some bunch of colors and stuff, which will be fun. And then some of the other stuff that was in the mixed up pile. I just took the whole drawer out. I got a bunch of this green, just not that blue green. It's more St. Patrick's Day green. But that'll be fun, because that's a lot. Should be able to do something with. Once I get to these bigger amounts, I'm going to have to figure out how to determine yardage. So I got some of these random colors. This looks like this will be easier to spin, because it's already kind of like thin. But I don't know anything, so don't take my word for it. This one is kind of like this dark bluish green color. Okay. I've got two little things of that. This huge thing of yellow. Just It's soft too. I like soft. I'm finding that I'm really enjoying spinning just because I get to feel all this soft stuff. And then this one is one that I really like. Oh, my ring got caught in it. Not good. It's brown and it's got like these green streaks in it and stuff, and a little bit of like orangey red colors. And it is super, super soft. There. That's kind of more, but you can't really see the streaks in it though. But it's so soft. There it is. So I'll be doing the scrap stuff. And then I'll probably start working on this one, I'm thinking next. Or this one. Like, I'm saving the stuff that I like the most a little bit further down the road, just to make sure that I'm better at spinning process. Hopefully by then I'll be better. So I got all that. That's all the random stuff. And then I got this. It is, as it says, it's 9.7 ounces. And this one is a mixture of baby alpaca and carbonized bamboo. And it's so soft and fluffy, and it's just this really pretty soft gray color, and some of it has like some darker grays in it. It's just soft and fluffy. That. I got almost 10 ounces of this. So I should be able to make something substantial with it. And I'm going to have to figure out when spinning, when your spindle gets full, because I haven't encountered my spindle really getting full yet because I'm just working on small scrap stuff. When your spindle gets full, how do you go about changing it without having to like tie a knot in it? Especially when you're plying. I'll have to watch a lot of YouTube videos, I think. Yep. But that's all the fiber I got in the mail. And then the yarn goodies. Now I told y'all I went to the trunk show at my local yarn store, McNeedles. And whenever I checked out, I hit my $20 reward mark, which means that I had spent $200 in their store. Every $200 you spend, you get 20 bucks with them, which is wonderful. How many yarn stores do you know that do that? That give you money to go spend in their yarn store. So I went back and I picked out this. And it's not that blue. It's more like tealish green blue. Can you see the greens? It's more tealy green than blue. So for some reason, all the blues wind up turning like more blue than the greeny colors. Can you see, we got little pops of green. Can you see that? Trying to get the lighting maybe to show. There's green right there. You can kind of see it there. But this one is, I took the tag off because it was wrapped around it with a rubber band, and I did not like that. Let's see. Which one is it? Let's do this one. Okay, here it is. So it is Vice Yarns, and it is the Carnal base, which is a heavy fingering weight. It is 70% merino, 20% cashmere, 10% silk. And the colorway is Tidal Pool. And my plan is to match it with the gray that I got, which the gray is Shades of Gray. Same base, same. And I'm thinking of doing it the Whippoorwill, Whippoorwillow, whatever. And this will be the main color, and this will be the little stripes at the bottom. And I think it'll gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I almost just want to leave it like this and just sleep with it because it's so soft. But that's the plan for those. And then, because when I went to go check out, she told me I was like 20 bucks away from my next reward. So of course I gotta go buy some more, right? So the other thing that I bought was some more from Vice Yarns. What about this? It is the Blurred Lines sock weight. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It does not have a colorway on it. So I don't know. But let's see if I can take one of them out. From the way I understand it, the ones that are in the bags, I had bought some of the other ones in the worsted weight, maybe DK Sport, I don't remember, that are like this. What she did was she took the yarn, knitted up, dyed it, and then unraveled it so that she could make sure she got the stripes exactly the same. So this one goes from like this orange to kind of like this burnt orange brown to blue to this green and yellow color to this teal type blue to this brown with the orange in it and stuff. So my plan for this, because you get two of the skeins, so one's a sock and one's a sock, already perfectly measured out for you. So what I'm thinking, since this is a self-striping, but the, was it gradiated or whatever, where it goes, it doesn't do the color repeats, it just goes from one color to the next color to the next color. I am planning on doing the Mystic Spiral socks with this by Josh Ricks. I can say it right, I said it right, I'm positive. So if you've done the Mystic Spiral socks, let me know if this will work. I think it will, because I mean, it's a self-striping. It'll just be not the, you know what I'm talking about, right? My brain's not working right now. It's stuck in there. It won't come out through the mouth. That's what I'm thinking. I think it'd be really cool. I think. And he's actually, if you don't watch his podcast, you need to, Sort of a Knitter. He's actually going to be having what's called Mystic May, where he's doing a knit along for the Mystic Spiral socks in May. So if you bought the pattern and you want to join in, I probably won't make one in ours because he has one in his. But, you know, I encourage you to join along because hopefully I'll finish those socks soon. If not, I may cast these on, just go buy another size 1 needle and cast these on anyways so I can join in on the that knit along. I'm gonna be bad. I'm gonna start casting on a bunch of stuff, and I usually don't cast on a whole lot. So if you want to join along, I encourage you to. Still have a couple days to finish those socks. So I may have to put the sweater aside for a little bit and finish those socks so I can get my size 1s back. because I'm not like most knitters. I don't have, other than needles that people give me, I don't have a lot of the same size needle. But because I purchased that, I got my next $20 reward. So I went into their store. I needed a size 3 32" because I had a 40" and it was a little too long when I had cast one for the waistband of my sweater. So I got that. But that wasn't my purpose for going in there. My purpose was, I keep dropping things, was to use my $20 reward on some yarn. That's what I did, in addition to getting my needles that I needed. I got that. Isn't that pretty? It is, I'm not even going to pronounce it. Sculina Moscow. It is 67% Vicose, 20% Super Kid Mohair, 13% nylon. And this was a buy the whole bag deal because it was on discount. I don't know if it's because it's being discontinued or what the reason is for the discount. So I wound up getting 9 balls of this. So I have about, let's see, I already put this one in because I had time to do it. I think I have like 1,200 yards. Where is it? Yeah, I have 1,233 yards. So, what I'm thinking, with this being a fingering weight yarn, I know what pattern I want to do. Opinions would be greatly appreciated if you've done this particular pattern and can give me some insight on going from, I think it was a DK or sport, I don't remember, down to a fingering weight, but I really want to use this. I think it would be absolutely gorgeous. So I did notice that when I was looking through the projects for this pattern that some people have used it, and I just went up needle sizes until they got to the right needle, the right gauge. So I may have to just do that. But what I am wanting to do, and I think I should have enough, if not I'll have to go bugging people for more yarn, with the Jenny cardigan. I think that would be absolutely beautiful in that yarn. Now, the Jenny cardigan has pockets. I probably won't do the pockets, so that'll save me a little bit on yardage. But I think that would be pretty. I really do. In that yarn. So that's the plan. But I'm not going to be doing it for a while because I have other projects that I've queued up that will be coming first. So I have time to research it and if need be find more yarn. So that is, I think, all the craftiness. I haven't sewn, I haven't carved. Hopefully I will, oh, I thought my ring got stuck. Okay, I'm not going to be able to wear that. The reason why I'm thinking about making a project bag giveaway is, while I was talking to Christy, she mentioned that she did not own any project bags, except for ones that her mom made, I think, or a friend, something like that. So what I'm thinking is my little bird project bag that I made, one of the first ones I made, the bird one, not the squirrel one. thinking about making one that size, pretty much the exact same bag, and maybe having a giveaway for that. So once I get that completed, we'll see about having a little giveaway for that. So yeah, that's pretty much the crafty stuff. So, time to log our plays, shall we? Move this off of my game so I can talk to y'all. So, we've played 3 games this week. We played Euro Rails. We played, I should get them out because I'm not going to pronounce it. Hold on. I'm not prepared. So we played Euro Rails. Right here. I'm not seeing the designer's name other than Mayfair Games right now. But we played that one. We played, I still have one more game to get. Well, actually I may not get that one because we played it before and I showed it to y'all. We played this one. Romolo or Remo by Michelle Quandam. I can't pronounce things. This was an interesting little worker placement type game that's going to need lots of more play before I can even try to describe to you how you play it. But that's the back of the box. That's what it kind of looks like. It was very interesting. I do highly recommend it, but it's going to take, this was our very first play of it, so it's going to take several more plays before I can even begin to comprehend it enough to try and explain it to you. So we're not going to explain that game. The other game that we played, noisy, was Taj Mahal, which we've played that before, so if you've watched some previous episodes, Taj Mahal was mentioned on there, so I'm not going to go into that one. But what we're going to discuss today is Empire Builder. It is one of the first crayon rail games, which Euro Rail is a crayon rail game, but it has some other added on mechanics. So I'm going with simple Empire Builder to explain to you how to play. And this is really a fun game. Nate and I love playing this, even though, you know, it's just usually him and I who play. It's really fun. Some of Nate's family are like addicted to this game, and they're not as hardcore, you know, heavyweight gamers that Nate and I have started becoming. So it does tend to be a good, you know, for those lighter players who like lighter type games, and also for heavier players. But this is Euro Rails. What you're doing in Euro Rails is you are creating a network of railways in order to deliver goods to different cities. Now, why, do you ask, is this called a crayon rails game? Let me see. First off, your board is a puzzle. It's a puzzle. You have to put the puzzle together. So I'm just going to do is because your board, okay, we're just going to use one piece I think right now. Your board is like this, okay? The way you connect your railways, let me see, is with crayons. The crayons come in the game and they're washable. We don't suggest using these crayons on your board. What you want, if you're going to think about getting one of these games, what you want to invest in, and it's not really a big investment, are the China crayons. The China markers, the Plano, whoops, upside down. Plano China markers. And you just want them in the matching colors of your little pond. Here they are. Here's the little ponds. This denotes where your terrain is on the board. So if you're contemplating getting this game or playing this game, get these. Okay? Make your life so much simpler. So what you do is you are going to have some cards. You have 3 of them at a time. Oops, some of them are upside down. So you'll have 3 of these cards at a time. These tell you where, who wants a good, and what good it is, and how much you get for that good once you deliver it. There's 3 different places on each of these cards. You can only deliver to one place on your card. Okay? So once you deliver one of these things, that card goes away and you'll get a new one. So, how does it work? How do you get connected to your places? And how do you pick up your goods? Let us delve into the game now. What you do is at the beginning of the game, you're going to start with 50 million bucks. Exciting, 50 million, huh? And you're allowed to build tracks on the board with your crayon, connecting the dots. So you're connecting dots. This is a small city. Right. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm telling you which one's small and which one's medium correctly. Yes. Okay. The circles are your small cities. Oops. The squares are your medium cities. And these are your large cities. Okay, they cost different amounts of money. Every dot pretty much is a different amount of money. So, let's see. Find a good way to put this so you can see it. And I can see where I'm pointing. Okay. So, you're going to start with 50 million. You can do $20 million per turn of tracks. So, this one, this red dot is 3 million. This orange one, square one is 3 million. And then your large city, if you're going into the city, it's 5 million. If you're coming out of the city, it's 1 million. So there are strategies behind that to get less amount. Each regular little dot is 1 million. A mountain is 2 million. And if you go over a river, you're going to add $2 million to whatever you were going to initially have to pay. So from this dot to this dot would normally be 1 million. You have to add an additional 2, so it makes it $3 million to go over that river there. Okay? So you basically start the game off by doing $20 million worth of drawing your tracks, your routes. And it goes around, and then you get another turn for another $20 million worth of tracks. So after you're done, you'll usually have $10 million left. Sometimes you'll have a little bit more if you can't completely get to where you're needing to go. Like if you're going into one of the cities and you only have like $1 million left to spend, and it's $3 million, so you just save that extra million, wait for the next turn, and finish it up. So you usually have 10 million roughly left over at the start of the game. So then you get to pick where your train is going to start. Okay? You'll have 3 cards already. So your first initial placement of your tracks is going to be trying to match up some quick, easy deliveries. So you want ones that are close by each other, that are going to give you some quick deliveries that don't cost too much to build to, so that you can have at least some sort of income coming in to start with, so that you can start working towards some of the larger amounts. So you'll pick wherever it is you want. You usually start in whichever city you're going to be picking a good up. How do you know which city has which goods? Well, you can look on the board and see the little symbols, or you can refer to this nifty little sheet. You can look and say, oh, well, who has machinery? Look at that nice long list of all the cities that have machinery. So this has all that, and then it also, on the back side, has the different cities and basically where they are on the board. So just to give you a little help when you're trying to find things. So basically how a turn goes when you start off is you begin by moving your train a certain number of spaces. How many spaces can you move? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Where are the trains? Here is your starting train. Your train can move 9 spaces and hold 1, 2 goods. Eventually, you can upgrade your train. Now, the first time you upgrade your train, you upgrade it to either 3 goods or a 12 train. Either 3 goods or a 12 train. And then you can eventually upgrade it again and get the 3 goods 12 train. So you have to be able to place your good on your train in one of the spots, and then you move however many spaces it says you can move, 9 or 12. So you initially begin your turn by moving your 9 spaces towards your first payout. Once you hit a city where you have to buy something or pick up a good, you just stop, pick up the good, and then you continue moving. So it doesn't take really a turn to pick up the good and then your next turn continue moving. You can always continue moving if you have movement left. Once you hit the city that you need to go to, like say you're doing cattle to Mexico City, that very top one, you'll go pick up your cattle from whichever city it says, and then you'll work your way to Mexico City. Once you hit Mexico City, you turn in this card, you get $15 million, and then you can continue moving on to your next base. Once you turn in this card, you get to pick another card from the deck. Now, most likely you're going to get another card that tells you different places to go. You may, however, let's see if I can find one. Here's one. Get an event. Now you have to resolve the event before you continue to move. And then once you resolve the event, you draw another card. So you just do whatever it says on the card. If it says, let's see, that one doesn't say it. But sometimes they'll say something about players who are so many mileposts away from let's just say the Mississippi River, because that's right there. Let's say it says I think it's usually like 5 mile posts from the Mississippi River. You count the dots. So if your train is anywhere 5 dots away from the Mississippi River, you usually can't move your train or deliver goods and so on. But you basically draw a new card, see what you want to go get, and then start making your way over to there. After you have moved your piece, however many spaces, then you can draw $20 million worth of railways again. So you basically just keep doing that until the game ends. The way the game ends is you have to have connected 6 of the 7 big cities. So your train route has to touch 6 of those, go into 6 of those big, large cities. The, what's it? Hexagons? I think it's hexagons. If I'm wrong, I always get those mixed up sometimes, but I'm pretty sure it's hexagons. So once you get 6 of those, your train hooks into 6 of those, and then you have to have $250 million. And then you can say, I'm at the victory condition. The game continues until that round is over. So if the first player, the starting player, declared victory, then all the people behind him get to finish up their turn, because you could possibly have more than 1 victories. If it does wind up that more than 1 person wins, then you see who has the most money total. And if it's still tied, then the game continues with all the players included up to $300 million. And you just keep adding the 50 million increments until you finally get a winner. So then it would be 300 million, and if there's a tie, it goes to whoever's the most money, and if it's still a tie, then you add another 50 million. But we've never had that happen. There's usually a distinct winner. Let's see. The cities, the small and medium cities, have a certain amount of people who can go into them, which doesn't usually, I don't usually pay much attention to most of the time, because like I said, I usually just play with me and Nate, so we can both always get to them. But the small cities, the circles, can have a maximum of 2 people per city. The squares can have a maximum of 3 people going into the city. The large ones, everyone can go in. Trying to think. If you upgrade your train, that takes the whole turn of building tracks, so you cannot build tracks that turn. It takes $20 million to upgrade your train. If you can't do anything, if you can't get to any, if you don't like your cards, basically. If you don't like your cards and you can't really get to anywhere any good without spending a ton of money, you can opt to discard your 3 cards and draw 3 new ones. Now you still have to do the events as they come up, but that takes the place of your entire turn. You can't move your train, you can't draw tracks. You can just change out your cards. Trying to think of any other circumstances. I think that's probably it. Oh, I guess I should show you what the goods look like, right? Can you see all those little chips? These are all your goods. So your goods are one of these little chips that you stick on your card. And you can pick up any chip that you land in a city for, even if you don't have a particular place to take it. which is sometimes beneficial because you could be passing through a place that has like a very rare resource that you can only get at like 1 or 2 places, and you can pick that up and then head and drop off your whatever good it is that you're going to get, and hope that maybe that good that you picked up is going to be on your new card, and so you don't have to go back and get that good. You can just go and try and drop it off. So you can do that. You can drop off a good at any city. So if you pick up a good that you're not technically needing, and then you realize that you need another good because you got a new card and it tells you that you need to go get this other good, then you can drop off that good at any time during your turn when you hit a city. You can rent tracks. If you connect into another player's track, you can pay them $4 million per turn to use their track. So if you're going 9 spaces a turn, you can go however many spaces you have left on another player's track. But if you wind up still on their track at the end of your turn, your next turn you're going to have to pay them another $4 million until you connect back into your track. And then you don't have to pay them any more money. So sometimes it's good to do because it may cost you more to build the track to get to where you need to go than to pay the other player the money for it. But then again, you're paying the other players that you're competing against instead of the bank. So you have that to think about. I rarely ever rent tracks. Nate almost always will rent someone else's track if he's going a long distance and doesn't want to build into another place. I think that might be it. If not, and you pick up the game and then you have questions, feel free to always message me. I'll be glad to try and answer any of your questions. The game is for 2 to 6 players, and on the box it says 2 to 4 hours. With just Nate and I, if it's just the 2 of us are playing, we can usually play the game in about an hour and a half. Now, when you add more people, it can get a lot longer, because you do have to sit and think where you're trying to go, the most cost-effective way to get there, and all that stuff. So it can get kind of long. I don't think we've ever played a game that went over 4 hours. And we've played, I think, with up to 5 or 6 people before. I don't like it at such a high level of players. I usually like it about maybe 3 or 4. 2 is fine, but 3 or 4 you can start blocking people out of places too. So that's always fun to do. So I think that is it. And like I said, if I can try and figure out the video editing, there will be some pictures of garden things and stuff right now. So bye, I hope to see y'all again next week.